Hello students, today we're going to look at the next section in Algebra, and that's 4.2, writing equations in slope-intercept form. Now we're pretty familiar with slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. But today we're going to look at how do I find the equation of a line when I'm not given one of those, okay? So let's say we need to write an equation of a line that passes through 2, 1 with a slope of 3. So we know that m equals 3. So I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to plug in what I know and solve for what I don't know. I know the slope already, so the one thing that I don't know is what b is. What is my y-intercept? So I'm going to plug in everything else. So I've got a point 2, 1. Well, that's an x and that's a y that lie on the line, so I can plug in that x and y to my equation along with the slope, and then I can figure out what my y-intercept is. So the y is 1 equals m is 3 and the x is 2 plus b. Okay, I just plugged in my x, my y, and my m into the equation, and now I'm going to solve for b. So 1 equals 6 plus b. I subtract b from both sides, or use the magic of the equal sign and move the 6 to the other side, and it becomes -6. So 1 minus 6 equals b. b equals -5. So now I know my y-intercept. I know my slope. So I have an equation of y equals 3x minus 5. Again, when we're writing slope-intercept form, we always put our y and our x as letters. We don't plug in the number again. We just plugged in the number to find b. So y equals 3x minus 5 because the slope is 3 and the y-intercept is -5. So I'd like to do another quick example. Because it's new, we'll do another example of it. So we know y equals mx plus b. Sorry, let's read the question. Write an equation of a line that passes through 4, -7 with a slope of -1. So again, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Plug in what I know to solve for b. So y is -7 equals m, which is -1, times x, which is 4, plus b. So -7 equals -4 plus b. Use the magic of the equal sign and move the -4 to the other side so I can get b by itself. So -7 plus 4 equals b. b equals -3. Now I have my slope and my y-intercept, so I can plug in my equation. Y equals m, which is -1, but remember from the Math Council of 1580, we don't put the 1, we just put the negative sign, so it's just -x, and then my y-intercept is -3, so -3. So the equation of my line is y equals -x minus 3. Now we're going to shake things up a little bit, because now it says write an equation of the line that passes through 3, 1 and 2, 4. So I'm just given 2 points. Well, I don't have a slope or a y-intercept, so I have to start with the slope. I need to find the slope first, so then I can solve for the y-intercept. So I got to find the slope. Well, if I'm given 2 points, then I can use the slope formula. Okay, and you remember the slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can pick whichever one you want, doesn't matter. I'm going to choose x1, y1, x2, y2, just because. And so I'm going to plug in my numbers. So 4 minus 1 over 2 minus 3 equals 3 over -1, which equals -3. So my slope is -3. Let me just check it to make sure I did that fast. 4 minus 1 is 3, 2 minus 3 is -1, 3 divided by -1 is 3. Yeah, we got it. So my slope is -3. Now I have to use the point slope form, y equals mx plus b, and I have to plug in the x, y, and the b. Excuse me, the x, y, and the m to solve the b. And you're thinking, well, Mr. Cones, which one do I use? Doesn't matter. You can pick both, because you'll get the same answer if you do both. And I'll show you that real quick. So I'm going to start with 3, 1. So 1 equals -3 times 3 plus b. So here we go. Let's keep going. I plugged in x, y, and m. Now I've got to solve for b. So 1 equals -9 plus b. with the magic of the equal sign, 9 crosses, the negative 9 crosses over to become positive 9. So 1 plus 9 equals b, and b equals 10. So my equation of the line is, in this case, y equals negative 3x plus 10. And you're saying, well, Mr. Cohens, are you sure? Well, let's try it. Let's use the other point and the slope, and let's figure it out. So I'm going to draw a little squiggly, and I'm going to use the second point, 2 comma 4, to see if we got the same answer. So I know that y is 4, and I know that m is still negative 3, and I know that x is 2, and I do plus b. So 4 equals negative 6 plus b. Magic of the equal sign, negative 6 moves to the other side and becomes positive 6, so 4 plus 6 equals b, and 10 equals b. B is the same for both points, so it does prove my theory that you just need to pick one point. It doesn't matter which one. I'd pick the one that has the most positives or the one that has the most zeros in it. Just me. So I find the slope first, plug in the slope and the x and the y to find b, and then I have my equation y equals negative 3x plus 10. So just for fun, let's do another one like that just because it's pretty new. So I'm going to pass through this time negative 4, comma negative 2, and negative 5, comma negative 6. So let's figure out what my slope is. So I'm going to start with m equals, and I'm going to do something sneaky. I'm going to make this x2, y2, and this x1, y1, and I'll show you why in just a second. So I'm going to choose negative 2 minus negative 6 over negative 4 minus negative 5. The reason I did this is so I could come with positives. Ooh, you right, Mr. Cohens. Negative 2 minus negative 6 would be negative 2 plus 6, which equals 4. And negative 4 minus negative 5 equals negative 4 plus 5, which equals 1. Now, I caution you that you should do this on a calculator. Okay, I've been doing this for a few more years than y'all have, so I'm pretty confident with it, but I would certainly check myself on a calculator with all these negatives and stuff thrown in there, okay? So, my slope is 4. 4 over 1, okay, because negative 2 plus 6 is 4, negative 4 plus 5 is 1, 4 over 1 is 4. Now I'm going to choose whichever point I want to, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to choose the first one again, just because I want to. So I plug in for y equals mx plus b, I plug in the y, the m, and the x. The y is negative 2, the m is 4, the x is negative 4 plus b, and so I get negative 2 equals negative 16 plus b, magic of the equal sign, b equals negative 2 plus 16, so 14 equals b. So the equation of my line is y equals 4x plus 14, because my slope is 4 and my y-intercept is 14. If you'd like to do the other point just for fun, you can. I'm not going to. Well, here are your practice problems for this video. The first one says write the equation of the line that passes through negative 2 comma 5 with a slope of 3. The second one says write the equation of a line that passes through negative 1 comma 12 and 4 comma negative 8. Figure out what you're supposed to figure out, and then come up with the equation of the line for each of these problems. Then take a picture of it through Edmodo, and submit it through Edmodo, and you'll be done.